Hey, good day, folks, and welcome to another edition of Lumberjack Logic Live. I'm your host, Neil Johnson. Always excited to be with you. Always excited to bring the news to you. Really excited to bring this news to you, folks. J6ers have long faced political persecution and prosecution. Donald Trump came along and gave them the pardon that they needed. But there is more justice needed in this. Okay, a lot more justice. And we're going to talk specifically about the curious case of Patrick Scruggs this morning. And Patrick Scruggs is an individual who went tirelessly after J6ers, but thought he could get away with pleading self-defense after stabbing someone on a Florida highway. This is a crazy story, but we have breaking news in that broke just this morning, and that is that Patrick Scruggs' use of the self-defense stand your ground law in Florida is not working for him. And this is so one of the people he prosecuted was a gentleman by the name of Adam Johnson. Many of you are familiar with him because he's the guy who took the cheeky photo, shall we say, of carrying the Nancy Pelosi lectern. And interestingly, the mainstream media, if you read on this, will say that he stole a lectern. Now, he never stole a lectern. He might have a defamation suit there. But as you are joining, do me a favor, smash that like, chat in with where you're from. I'm going to bring Adam on the stream, but really quickly, do want to mention my sponsor, MyPillow, mypillow.com/lumberjack, folks, for big savings on the best sleep products available. But $49.98 for Giza Dream sheets, you'll never go back. I'm serious. You get Giza sheets, there's no going back. Like, you get all other sheets suck. I never even knew sheets were a thing. I will only use MyPillow sheets. And actually, it's the only sheets Donald Trump wants to use as well. Also, folks, he not only has the products to sleep in, but right here with the Rev 7 energy drink, my favorite pre-workout drink of all time, with no sugar, no caffeine. It uses BHB ketones. So your body, when it goes into ketosis, produces ketones. This drink has them. It is absolutely phenomenal for mental clarity. You can save up to 30% with a subscription. So go check it out at mypillow.com. But without any further ado, folks, I want to bring in my special guest today, and that's Adam Johnson. Adam, good to see you again.
Good to see you too, Neil. How you been?
I've been all right. You know, folks, Adam was out at the inauguration, and we spent some time together. I got to meet his wife. I really like your wife, by the way. She was really just a very, very wonderful, sweet gal. So
she's easy to like. Yeah, she's easy to like.
Yes, but so tell us what happened. I'm just going to just turn this over to you for a couple minutes. Tell us what happened in that Florida courtroom this morning.
So we are about almost coming up on 2 years away from the initial incident, and there's been delays, continuations. There's been multiple depositions. They're trying to get witnesses together. They actually pulled out the victim from jail to testify during the self-defense hearing. We can get into that. And Patrick Scruggs decides that he wants to claim self-defense. And in Florida, we have stand your ground. We're actually probably one of the most free states out there when it comes to stand your ground. We tell people you have a right to defend your life, your liberty, and others as well. Well, the judge wasn't buying it this morning because the witness testimony that came in during the hearing for this was so damning that you can't look at this and say it's not exactly what it looks like on camera. The judge said, I wrote a 12-page note on this, and he filed it with the courts. I haven't seen it online yet, but when that does come online, I'll make sure I send it over to you. Okay. He said, this is not self-defense very clearly. And we're going to move forward. He wants a jury trial to be scheduled. Now, the defense, Patrick Scruggs has two attorneys. One of them showed up today. The other did not. And the defense argued, well, we can't really set a date because I don't know my partner's trial schedule. So let's set another date to set a date. The judge wasn't having it. He understands that if you're working in a practice with someone, a partner with someone, that you share schedules. You share schedules because you have to know where people are that you're working with. Because a lot of times, as in Patrick's case, you work together. So your schedule should populate. I mean, if you're a professional law firm, there is a master schedule that everyone has access to. This is just professionalism.
Yes.
Judge wasn't having it. Judge says, no, we're putting something on the court records today for a jury trial. We're not going to have another date to set a date. So the
date to set a date. This is like what Elon Musk fights every day in corporate America. Mm-hmm. Like, he does not like meetings or dates to set dates. I mean, this isn't how he works, and I'm glad the judge isn't working this way either.
I think he's losing his patience. Even during the hearing, he had to sustain so many times the defense because they were leading witnesses, basically putting words in their mouth, saying, "Well, you should be saying this," and multiple times the prosecution had to object to it, and they had to redirect the defense several times to the point where the judge was actually getting verbally and tonally annoyed with the defense. So the judge is done with this. They're tying up his courtroom. Judge said, well, what's it look like for the prosecution schedule? Prosecution state of Florida said, well, my summer's completely open. I want to get this going. How about June?
Okay.
Defense comes back and says, oh, I'm too busy in June and July. Judge says, well, how about August 1st? How about August 2nd? How about August 9th?
Oh, gosh, really?
So it's great stuff. The judge is, a lot of that is hyperbole, but it's the timbre of his voice, the message he was giving is this is getting on the court schedule today. So it is scheduled for September 9th. It's going to be a 4-day trial, and I will be there every single day of it, making sure that I am reporting on what's happening in the courtroom.
September 9th. I would love to actually be there reporting with you. I mean, in terms of like I could live stream with you, but that is during elk season. I'm thinking
priorities. I know priorities.
But Adam, you know what I might do for you if you have an interest in it, because I may be having somebody else operate the channel while I'm gone during some of my elk hunting, or if you want to just come on and host a show, I can set it up. So that's
my lawn guy's outside. Is that really loud?
It's loud.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. But so you went there this morning not knowing what to expect. You come out and you basically have a solid win. I want to share something actually that you posted that I think is one of the funniest things that I have seen, and this is the Scruggs Barbie. Okay, so for those, Adam, I like following Adam on X because of things like this. On my way to the courthouse this morning to see if the judge is going to throw out the case. If he doesn't, Patrick Scruggs is going to trial. And here's the Barbie self-defense inflictor. He's got his law degree, he's got his knife, his car, and then he's got his orange jumpsuit. That's Patrick Scruggs. This is beautiful. I love your humor.
Yeah, someone said this to me, and I was like, it's almost perfect, but he is actually very chubby. He's put on probably 30 pounds since the incident.
That's true. Muscular
will do that. Yeah,
and he's not that muscular. So it's just, I mean, I want to ask you a question though, and then I want to get to something serious here. So we just witnessed yesterday. Many of you saw this. I'm gonna move ahead to this. We saw this. Okay, so James Comey posted on Instagram. Saw some interesting shells as I'm walking down the beach. 8647. Now, if you look down there too in the sand, I'm going to pull this up just a little bit more. Okay, I want you to look here. It looks to me like there was the possibility that the word soon was written here and maybe kind of got scrubbed out of the picture. Maybe he thought that was just the bridge too far. I don't know, but it looks like, there was a soon in there and then he stepped over it, because that does not look like it's part of the same track. I'm not sure. And then you could see, so possibly, maybe not, but either way, the 8647 is bad enough. And this is, folks, from the former director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. I showed this to my kids, Adam. I showed this to my kids and I said, like, can you believe this? And they're like, he was the FBI director? She said, I don't care if Joe Biden was the president. You don't do that as an FBI director. It doesn't matter what your political alliances are as an FBI director. You don't do crap like this. And I don't
under
know.
Comey's direction, when someone had made threats against Biden on Facebook, under Comey's direction, this was a guy, I think it was out of a northeastern state, I believe.
I got that actually.
They actually broke his door down and shot him in his own home. I think it was at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
So he understands what threats are, and he acted in a very specific way towards them. So that that is the James Comey that is now doing this. As far as the suit, I'm a Florida guy. We have a lot of sand. Those look more like knee prints to me, like someone was leaning down or reaching them.
Thank you.
If I had to give my 10 cents on it. And then one of two things happened. Either he set these shells up himself or someone sent him a picture of it, where this was a directed thing that he wanted to share intentionally. Because you don't just, the beach, I mean, there are tides, there are winds, and there are a lot of people at the beach, like constantly. That's not going to stay in perfect form. So did he watch someone do it and then walk up 5 minutes afterwards? No.
Exactly.
This thing would not exist for hours. So either he did this himself or this is something that was sent to him.
Yeah, I'm going to actually bring in, since you brought this up, I think this is a good thing to bring into the fray here. I'm going to label this, I'll just label this FBI and then put it on my screen. But just see, guys, this is the individual you were talking about. So how does this make you feel? Like you literally, honest, this is so ridiculous. And I think Heather made a great point, which is why I wanted to share this. People like former FBI Director Comey calling for the assassination of President Trump are the reason Corey Compentor was killed and Trump almost lost his life in Butler. We cannot allow calls for domestic terrorism by anyone to go unprosecuted. Arrest Comey. Okay. So, the question is, will he get arrested? So I've got a couple of questions for you here, and I want you to answer these. One of the questions is, will he get arrested? Number 2 is, should he get arrested? Number 3 is, how does it make you feel to see the former director of the FBI posting something like this? Okay. And he's trying to play it off. He's been out there today. Oh no, I didn't mean anything by that. I can't believe that people would take it that way. That's crazy. Okay. But you take a picture with a lectern and you actually got federally prosecuted. So how does that make somebody like you feel?
I've had a lot of time to process what happened to me. And in the beginning, I was very, very angry about it, right? Which, I mean, most people would be. But as I'm sitting here a few years later, going through all of my stuff, I really want to see things come back to what justice looks like. And I know everyone talks about revenge. Everyone talks about, we need to go after these people. I want reformation is what I really, really see. And reformation looks like justice occurring as it should occur, and how it has occurred, 20 years prior to Trump entering the scene of politics. Now, do I think Comey's going to get arrested? I don't think so. We just saw, was it Latasha McIver? Was it Latasha Laverne? It was this the black congresswoman out of New Hampshire.
Yep.
Yes. She's on video federally assaulting three federal officers. 3 different ones on video. She's not been arrested. She's not even in charge of anything. So if you think that Comey's going to get arrested for, arranging shells in the sand, absolutely not. We have an actual congresswoman on tape doing this. Where is Mike Johnson? Where are the people who are supposed to enact this? Where is Pam Bondi? This is a clear-cut case. Officers were assaulted. She should have been arrested that day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, it's certainly what she did is far worse than what you did. There's no video of you shoving officers, bumping into officers, using your big belly. You see her big belly. I've paused that video. I've done 2 stories on that, and I keep pausing it on the hanging belly. Okay. But there's nothing like that of you. Nothing. And you got, what was it? 75 days and $5,000, correct?
And 200 hours of community service and a year of supervised release.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think she should minimally get that.
I think even an arrest at this point, even if it is just an arrest and a slap on the wrist, it's to set the timbre, man. And we haven't done that yet. We've had a lot of I know they're pushing forward the prosecution for the judge who hid the illegal immigrant in the courthouse. So that's happening. So we do see some things coming out of this DOJ.
Yes.
But we need to see more. People think we have 4 years. We have 2 until midterms.
Did you see? I know that's huge. I'm going to bring in this really quickly. But did you also see today that they are shutting down the Hoover Building?
Really?
Yes, that just came out. It just came out, people. I'll do a video on that. But Dan Bongino and Cash Patel were on with I think it was Maria Bararoma, and they just spilled the beans on it. They're like, we're shutting down the Hoover Building. Hopefully he does make a museum to the deep state, man. I don't know. Folks, in the chat, how many of you want to see the museum to the deep state? I mean, they're closing down the Hoover Building. Are we going to use it for anything? Let's make a museum to the deep state. This is exactly who you were just talking about, described as feeble and frail by his neighbors in church. 75-year-old Craig Robertson of Provo, Utah, was killed by the FBI this morning. So this is this older post for back when this happened. And this person puts forth some conjecture. Here's what I think: they kicked in the door when he was sound asleep. He thought it was a break-in, picked up his gun for protection. Very possible. I mean, 5 a.m. raids, pre-dawn raids. It's quite possible. Like, see, that's where stand your ground. And actually, somebody did get what's the word I'm looking for? Did get relief for self-defense against armed law officers who did not identify themselves and broke into his house, and he shot him.
Yeah, I thought the left was against no-knock warrants. I remember this.
Not against conservatives, man. I mean,
I thought they were against these things.
They were celebrating over that pro-life dad with 5 guns pointed at his head in front of his kids and wife. Do you remember that?
Yep, I do.
Ridiculous.
I do.
And again,
the Comey thing. Comey's also not stupid. He's not a stupid man. He isn't. You don't get to be in that position. So I definitely think he's gaslighting the right, but I think he's gaslighting the DOJ personally. I think he knows they can't do anything against him. And I think it's not because the new DOJ that were running it are awful at their jobs or not doing anything. I think it's because, how do you prosecute him effectively? This man has so much pull and so many friends behind closed doors. How do you even start that prosecution? He's very insulated. Yeah. And this is also a huge reason why I don't think we'll see a lot of things come out about the Epstein list. These people are heavily insulated.
It's they are. You don't even know how many judges are involved in the Epstein list to begin with. I mean, so where do you go to get your prosecution? I don't know, but exactly. But I'm just saying.
And I ran this theory by one of the friends I go on podcasts with occasionally, and I said, consider this. Let's say that the people on the list are exactly who they are. The CEOs, for banks, insurance companies, Raytheon, Lockheed Martin. Let's say even one of them is prosecuted. What happens to the stock of that company the very next day? What happens to everyone's jobs? If you go and prosecute a CEO of a company, of a very large company, you are going to put thousands upon thousands of Americans out of work. The economic discourse you would have from arresting a single CEO, even implicating they were involved in those things. And this is the Comey issue as well. You knock down one domino, you will find 30 happen afterwards.
Well, truth, but too big to fail was a bad policy back in the day, yes. And we saw one low-level person go to jail during the whole financial crisis, and it's too big to fail is the wrong doctrine now. So you do look. I mean, look, Enron. You saw some of these things where CEOs fell. Eventually, another company rises to take its place, or another CEO comes in and takes the place. I think we need to set some examples. Whether they'll do it or not, that's another thing. I do believe I have seen positive signs from the DOJ going on behind the scenes. I know, I actually do trust Dan Bongino to a great degree. I mean, he gave up millions. Dan Bongino was, I always tell people, he was making $20-30 million a year doing the Dan Bongino show. I know that he was making at least that. And he gave that all up to serve as the the deputy director of the FBI. So I think that there's real work going on. And I think we're seeing like a building from small to big. Like Hannah Dugan's kind of a small stone, but she is a federal judge. It's a big thing. It's bigger than people realize. Yep. When have we seen this before? When have we seen a federal judge indicted?
It's good. I know Article 3 protects federal judges from being removed. It's a lifetime appointment. And if you look at the amount of federal judges we have now compared to 20 years ago, they just keep packing the houses for basically the state. Whether they rule on something or not, the feds can come in and rule on it instead. This happened to Derek Chauvin and the other officers who were there. There was a story when this happened where The DOJ said if they don't get the ruling they want, they're going to charge them federally instead. So the federal courts are acting, not just, crazily at their level, but they're also coming in and taking over the state prosecution as well. And Article 3 protects them. But there are things judges do in their private lives. There are things that judges do that are illegal, and we know this. And maybe the goal shouldn't be that we're trying to get them impeached, because they're never going to get impeached and fired, both in Congress and the Senate. You won't get the votes for that. But if the FBI and DOJ were weaponized, like it were against, Catholics who were against, Planned Parenthood, against January 6ers who just wanted to walk around and protest and go home, against some of these federal judges that have co-opted our country, maybe then we could see actual restoration and reformation.
Well, yeah, I'm posting a video too here, folks, in the chat. I just I did an upload video on this story of Adam's case. It's done fairly well, but I want you to have something shareable. A lot of times live streams, they go a little bit longer. They're not as shareable on platforms. So I am posting this in the chat right now. This video, take and go share this one. If you want to get this story out about Patrick Scruggs, I think one of the things that you need to do is show the absolute lunacy of the left. I think this is very important. What was the word you were talking with me earlier, and you said because I was saying these people are just so angry. That's why they can't do humor well. They're so angry they can't do humor because it all comes off as angry. And you said something about dark people, dark products. How did you word that?
I said they have no light in their life. And people who live in the dark produce dark products.
Yeah, they have no light in their life. Here you go. Write that. Quote it. Put Adam Johnson. They have no light in their life. Dark people produce dark products. Bam! Put it up there. It's a quotable quote. It's right up there with Thomas Jefferson, right there. But no, I think that the problem that I have with like Scruggs, with Comey, with all these people is that they all do think they're above the law. Scruggs, I mean, really takes it to an extreme. He thinks he's so far above the law, folks, that he should be able to enter a self-defense plea. A self-defense plea on this. Folks, we've got the video. Go watch. I'm going to put it in the comments again. If you want to see the just a quick version of that story and the video of him and his stabbing and all of that, go watch that video and share that around, okay? But I wanted to show you something else. Check this out. So Liz Collin, great reporter here. Speaking of Derek Chauvin, she's done a lot. She did the Fall of Minneapolis documentary. I've had her on the show before. But submitted from the Chaska protest Facebook page. So here you go. You got more 8647. Okay, so this is the problem with somebody like Comey doing this, and the reason he needs to be arrested. Okay, now I don't know if it's going to happen, but the reason he needs to be arrested is because of this. Because this is the kind of crap that spreads when they do this. Do you remember when the Atlantic put the bullet hole in the $47 picture up?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are normalizing this kind of political violence. Okay,
Kathy Griffith holding up the beheaded effigy of Donald Trump's head. Johnny Depp saying on a stage, "When is the last time a president was assassinated?" Madonna saying, "I have thought about bombing the White House." These are high-profile people that have done this, and where's the DOJ? We also have to be careful. So I'm going to say something controversial. Kanye West had a new song come out this week. Or last week.
He did? I didn't even know.
Yeah, don't Google it. Yeah, it'll be on the list. So he talks about basically not liking the Jewish people. It's a whole song. And a lot of people, so almost every platform took it down except for Twitter. Twitter kept it up. Okay. And while I don't agree with anything in the song that he's talking about, it still is representation of free speech. But we're getting to the point when we have things like 8647. Does that extend to free speech? Is it actually calling for violence? What is the implications behind it? Are they just saying we want him out of office? Right? We have to consider this. Is it actually a chargeable offense to write that? And then how far do we go to tell people you cannot speak, you can't make art? I find it deplorable, personally. But I don't want to give them precedent to use that same thing against me. God forbid they ever get back in office. So it's a very fine line we have to walk.
Yeah, it is. I'm going to share this video from Maze Moore, one of the greatest follows on X, by the way. You probably follow him too. I mean, the guy's
Yeah, Maze is great.
He's awesome. Okay. And he pulls up all these old videos, and I'm going to share that with you folks. But I do need to mention also my other sponsor. That's Birch Gold, folks. Get your free info kit on gold by texting the word lumberjack to the number 989898. Again, that's 989898. Text the word lumberjack. There's no obligation, just useful information. Folks, I am a big believer in physical gold and silver. I was long before I ever had a sponsor. I was acquiring this stuff because it's real money. It's tangible. It is a commodity. It actually has industrial benefit and value. It has intrinsic benefit and value. That's why it was called the gold standard. That's why things are called the gold standard. Okay, the real reset is happening in Brazil coming up here this summer. The BRICS nations are moving to get off the dollar addiction. And no matter what happens, and Trump is doing a good job of trying to restabilize the dollar throughout the world, but the dollar sucks anyways. I'm just going to say it. I mean, anytime you have a Fed that can just randomly move interest rates up and down, produce more money out of thin air, it's crap. So I would encourage you to, again, I'm not your financial advisor. You do what you need to do, but go get your free info kit by texting the word lumberjack to 989898 and at least get the information on it. Okay, back to Mr. James Comey. Let's play this video. And this relates directly to January 6th. This is where he said the FBI must find and charge every single person who entered the Capitol on January 6th. Everybody's got to be charged, folks.
They did a good job.
Your democracy. I know my colleagues at the FBI are honored and excited to do this work, and will do it 24 hours a day until they find every one of them. We live in extraordinary times.
Okay, I started it late, but I want you to think, honored and excited to do this work. It isn't the most disgusting statement I'd heard, but here, I got to go back to the beginning. I'd let this
How important is it for the FBI to track down those responsible and follow up on it, even though it may be incredibly time consuming? And for some people, it might just be a case of trespassing.
Incredibly time consuming. Folks, didn't they have 5,000 plus agents on this? I think was the number.
Yep.
It's important that every last person who entered that Capitol be found and charged. They need to feel the force of the rule of law. That they need to feel.
Holy cats! Feel the force of the rule of law. This is interesting because this is fake news. NBC. Mm-hmm. Look at what they're using there. They're using this quote unquote gallows, folks. I want you to take a look at this gallows. I want you to. Is this any form of usable gallows? This would not support anything. I built my home. I've built sheds. I've built garages. Look at this, Adam. You're a woodworker. You have knowledge of construction. Does this look like a legitimate gallows?
No, not at all. It's completely unstable. Do you know the story behind those gallows that were erected?
You tell it, but yes, I do actually.
Yeah. So they were erected that day. No one's been arrested. We don't even know the names of the people who actually built these gallows. And that those gallows are showing you the perspective angle they're using make you think that it's actually a large scale gallows. It's not. It's I think it's maybe 4 or 5 feet tall.
Yeah.
Not even, again, there's no angle support here up in the corner, so there's no stability for it. No. It's nothing in this would work. Nothing.
The knot does not work. It's tied like nothing about this works. Nothing. Literally nothing. Look at this. Like you guys, I know I've got people who work construction out in the audience. Look at this. Like he's saying, there's no angle bracket here. There's no L bracket. This thing does not even extend out. It's not even the same size. This whole thing is just wrong. Wrong. I've constructed so much in the course of my life. Nothing about this is real. Fake news. Fake news. And that's the picture that they utilize. And what he's talking about there, I'm a photographer. You get down on the ground, okay? You use a wider angle lens. You're up close. Notice that the object is not even in focus. The gallows isn't in focus. They put the Capitol in focus. They can't even bring the gallows in focus because they're too close to it, probably.
Yep.
The depth of field, everything. I could go on and on about how this is fake. And this is our former FBI director going after Americans full tilt. So one last video here, and then we'll probably bring this to a close. But I want to share this. This is President Trump today. Or last night, I should say. Or no, I think this was just posted on X this morning.
That meant assassination. And it says it loud and clear. Now, he wasn't very competent, but he was competent enough to know what that meant. And he did it for a reason, and he was hit so hard. Because people like me. They like what's happening with our country. Our country has become respected again, and all this. And he's calling for the assassination of the president.
Obviously, he apologized and said he
Well, he
wasn't calling
apologized
for
'cause he was here.
violence. But
Look, he's a very
what
bad,
do you want to see happen?
he is a-
What do you want to see happen?
Brett,
I
stop.
don't want to take a position on it because that's going to be up to Pam and all of the great people. But I will say this, I think it's a terrible thing. And when you add his history to that, if he had a clean history, he doesn't. He's a dirty cop. He's a dirty cop.
Just like
And if he had a clean history, I could understand if there was a leniency. But I'm going to let them make that decision.
I love that. I mean, Brett Baer, like, oh, well, he apologized and whatever. Good night, Brett. Stop it. Stop it. What are you going to make it? You going to make an 8 a.m. call on Arizona again or something, Brett? I mean, 8 p.m.
That would have saved me a lot of prison if I was like, hey, oopsie daisies, my bad, sorry.
My bad. Trump's so great because he goes, I mean, he wasn't real competent, but he was competent enough. it's like, no.
No, I miss that man. Some of the darkest years of my life were when he was off of Twitter.
Oh,
So dark.
it just President Trump is absolutely. He could do stand-up comedy. He's one of the funniest guys. You could do stand-up comedy yet. I want a comedy tour. Actually, folks in the chat, let me just see how many of you want to see Adam Johnson on a stand-up comedy tour, making jokes about the deep state apparatus and Nancy Pelosi. Come on, who in the chat wants to see this? Because it would be amazing. It would be awesome. I can assure you. Go follow him on X, by the way. I'm going to bring up your X account right now because they got to follow you there. Let's see. We're going to go to right here. Litturn Leader. Let me see. There we go. Come on. There he is. Right there, folks. There you can follow him on X. It's at Litturn Leader. At Litturn Leader. Great account. You will laugh every day reading his stuff. It's hilarious. And I love it. I love this account. Okay. And also too, I want to mention really quick, folks, two things. Okay. One, he's got a website, Unlicensed Furniture Movers. I want to show you this quickly. And because he's so good, he even makes his web domain a joke against the deep state apparatus. Because unlicensed furniture movers, because that's what he did. He moved Nancy Pelosi's lectern. They tried to say he stole it, on and on. But the other thing I want to encourage you folks to do too, I already talked about my pillow. Mike Lindell Legal Defense Fund. I'm going to put he's got a huge case, folks, coming up. Coincidentally, it involves Eric Coomer of Dominion. It's out in Colorado. He needs your help. So if you can, go give to the Mike Lindell Legal Defense Fund. He is. They keep coming after him. It is relentless, and he's relentless. He has never stopped fighting. He has never settled. He says he will not. Other people settle. The insurance companies ask him to settle and so on because they don't want to take it to court. Mike will not do that. Now let's do some unlicensed furniture movers here. Where did I even put that now? What did I got to send? Oh, there it is. All right. Let's just show them what you got going on. There it is. You guys can get your own lectern right here.
I will say so. I also have a 501c3. It's a charity that I also run. 51% of everything that we make and profit off this website is going to my charity, where 100% of that money goes towards families who have been wrongfully prosecuted and persecuted by the DOJ. So we are mostly charitable.
There you go, folks. You can get cool hats. You can get the podium. You make these all yourself.
I do. I'm a carpenter. I handcraft every one. They're all signed and numbered.
See? Look at this. You guys can get all kinds of cool stuff. Signed D-list celebrity photo. Do you know what that reminds me of? D-list? So I took my kids to Taco Bell the other day, and I said, yeah, folks, this is grade D meat. Grade D for delicious. No one thinks they're getting grade A meat when they go to Taco Bell, but nonetheless, it can fill you up quick. So there's all kinds of things, but that's unlicensedfurnituremovers.com, folks. If you want to go support Adam and what he's up to and just get some really cool stuff, That'd be a great Christmas present for your liberal friends. Gosh. I would love it. You could give your liberal friend a handcrafted podium. That'd be epic. I mean,
that actually was part of the intention. The photos I will actually make out. So if you put a comment when you buy a signed photo, if I'm going to make it out to your liberal aunt, who always gives you stuff during Thanksgiving, I will do that for you because I want to be a part of that joke.
You're like me when I sign books, may all your vacation dreams come true. And you can write stuff like, may all your furniture moving dreams come true. Oh, folks. Hey, we're going to close this up. Again, just please go support Mike Lindell, support Adam and what he's doing. And go get some stuff from MyPillow, for Pete's sakes. Get some of those Giza sheets, $49.98. Do you have Giza sheets, Adam? I got to ask you.
I don't. I bought 10 sets of sheets like 2 years ago. They went on clearance. So I'm getting through those first.
Oh, they suck compared to Giza sheets. I'm telling you, honestly, it is Donald Trump's favorite product. His favorite product is Giza sheets.
I'm going to have to get a set then.
They're like, they're cotton, so they breathe, but they feel like silk. It is unreal. It's long staple Egyptian cotton from this specific valley in the Nile River. Mike can tell you all about it. It's amazing. Anyways, I got to get Mike on the show again to talk about his case out in Colorado that's coming up. But I want to give you final thoughts on this. I mean, Patrick Scruggs, his self-defense didn't work. James Comey, I mean, whatever you want to comment on the unfair prosecutions at J6, highlighting it against the deep state apparatus, whatever you want to say. You get to close out the show. Thanks for listening, folks. Take it away.
Well, first of all, thanks, Neil, for having me on, shining some light on this. My takeaway thought is be hopeful. Stay positive. You have to be someone who lives in the light so you can produce good things, positive things. What's going on with the J6ers, what's going on with Patrick Scruggs, what's going on with Comey. I mean, all of it, it's up to how you want to look at it. So look at it in a positive way. We may not get everything that we want. We're not promised peace here on this earth. We're not promised, absolute justice on this earth. But our debt has been paid. And we should live like it is.
Yes. Amen to that. Yeah. Amen to that. All right, folks. We'll see you on the next episode. Remember to subscribe if you're new. Peace out, folks.